Now, there's been a lot of clout chasing and clickbaiting, a lot of following, a lot of capping, and this mob mentality where a lot of us don't even care what's real and what's fake. We just want to get together and see if collectively we have the power to destroy somebody. Let's talk about Gunna. What's up, y'all? Welcome to Crown TV Courts for this episode of Crown TV News. I go by the name of Prince. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. As always, welcome back. I want to start this off by saying, in full disclosure, that I am as big of a hip-hop fan as anybody. In this particular case, I am much more of a fan of Thug than I am of Gunna. But when I sit down at this desk to make these videos, I am a fan of no one. So we're just going to deal with the cold hard facts as they are at the moment. I want to start with this one, which a lot of people seem to have missed, and that is that as a general rule of law, a co-defendant's guilty plea is neither relevant or admissible as evidence of a defendant's guilt or innocence. So just because you take a plea deal doesn't mean that I am automatically guilty. It doesn't even mean that you are guilty, because people who are not guilty take plea deals all the time for a plethora of reasons. If that was the case, there would be no need for trials, and once one person takes a plea deal, they could just automatically convict everybody else involved. The flip side of that is that a defendant could go into a courtroom and say, hey, my co-defendant pled not guilty, so that automatically makes me not guilty. So this is why this will never be able to be presented to a jury, who are the people who ultimately will decide guilt or innocence as proof of guilt or innocence in a court of law. Something like that would result in an immediate mistrial, and we got so many cases and examples to look at throughout history. People who repeat this idea that going to court and taking a plea deal hurts everybody else on the case have either, one, never sat through a trial, or two, never bothered to look up the rules involving plea deals. So again, a co-defendant's plea deal cannot be used as proof of a defendant's guilt or innocence. Now, never in the history of our culture has a plea agreement been referred to as someone snitching, and I'm going to prove that very easily. For the first time in history, we have people pulling up plea agreements and referring to transcripts from plea hearings as snitch paperwork. This is foolishness, and I want to break this down so that even a child can understand. Now, the reason I say our culture is because it's important to distinguish between our culture and Italian culture, which a lot of people seem to be conflating. Italians historically have not been allowed to take plea deals, and even that's changed in recent years. We've seen a lot of plea deals come from the mob. And it's not that mafia lawyers, who are some of the best in the business, don't understand that a plea agreement made by one co-defendant cannot be used against another. It has to do with the mafia code of silence. You're not allowed to admit that the mafia exists, period, to anyone, your next door neighbor, the next door neighbor's dog. It doesn't matter. By doing that and taking a plea agreement, you are admitting that the mafia exists. And for that, you could pay the ultimate price. So it's not as much about snitching as it is about the code of silence and the mafia supposedly not existing. Now, on the other hand, we have black culture, in which we want you to know we exist from the moment we form. So we have bandanas, hats, t-shirts, gang signs. We rap about it, sing about it. It's not the same. At this point, when you're caught in one of these pictures, there's absolutely nothing left for you to hide. And if you've ever sat through a proceeding where they started pulling up these pictures and tying everybody in the picture to the conspiracy, then you know what I'm talking about. You might as well take your plea deal, and we've always referred to this in our culture as, quote, taking your time. And that's considered a stand-up person. Always has been. Honestly, I think we just started running out of content and running out of people to call snitches, and we just started labeling anybody we could find. Now, let's talk about Gunna's plea deal, and there is a reason why you keep hearing all of the co-defendants in the YSL case took the exact same plea agreement, and that's because there is no handcrafted Gunna plea agreement. The plea agreement that Gunna took was the same plea agreement that every co-defendant in every RICO case, whether it be state or federal, has taken. Every single co-defendant in AR Ab's case, in the Treyway case, in both of Star Brim's cases, have all took the exact same plea deal. It is copy and pasted because it's written in a way that makes it valid. You cannot take a plea deal in a racketeering case and not admit to the conspiracy. Shotty, who was considered to be one of the leaders in the Treyway case, after his plea was worked out, he didn't even get charged for racketeering. He pled out to 2 shootings, and he still, in his plea agreement, had to admit to being a part of this criminal organization called the 9 Trey Bloods. Now, whether the language is I was involved in a criminal organization or I was involved with this organization and I saw other people commit crimes, it's the same language. So either we got to go back through all of these RICO cases and label all of these people that we once called stand-up individuals who took their time snitches, or we have to stop the madness with Gunna. We just can't keep acting like there's some major difference in Gunna's case when there's no difference at all. The paperwork that has been circulating online is not, quote, snitch paperwork. It is simply a standard plea deal that has been used in many cases for people that we have never called rats. Gunna and his lawyer have both spoken, and they both agree that Gunna has no intentions on being any part of Thug's trial. If that changes, maybe my opinion will change. But as of now, Gunna has simply taken a plea deal. Anything beyond that, I would consider a reach and clickbait. Thank y'all for tuning in to Crown TV. My name is Prince. Peace.